Now let us look at the beam tool, and we are going to talk about the beam tool in this video. We have the beam tool there, and select it in the design tool, and then proceed to the settings dialog. Now the beam tool is almost similar to the column tool, because you start with the beam. This is the first section, and then you proceed to the section. You proceed to the segment section, where now you can create a single segment and a multi-segment type of a beam. So it is simple, but of course here we have an option to add a hole to your beam. Now let us start with the beam here. So you define the cross-section dimensions for your beam, and here you could decide that you want to change them. In this case, one value is populated to the other value. Then here we have the option to fix, or this is what is shown for a fixed length. Now basically would define the length of a particular beam graphically, but of course if you want to have a single beam that of course has a fixed length, then there's that option, and we are going to look at that. Then you have the option to define the position. For example, where is the beam located? Currently it is at 0 ground floor and current there. And then of course you can create a slanted column, a slanted beam, and also we can create a curved kind of a beam. So then you define the settings there. We are going to give an example. Then we have the head cuts and reference axis and the reference position there. We are going to see that, and we came across that. And then we have the segment, where you can create a single segment or a multi-segment. So you create a number of segments there. Then the segment, you control them using the percentages, using the option to have a flexible length, or even using a fixed length. Now fixed length here is now that it means that if you used a fixed length, then we are going to have a fixed length here. But if you decide to have a flexible length, then the distribution of this particular segment will be done, or it is going to be done using percentages, depending on what you're going to define graphically there in the drawing space. So that is what we have. Let me just click OK, and then you choose the structure of a particular segment, and then choose the material. We don't have the Vina here, we don't have that option for beams. Then you can choose to override the materials. Now the override for a particular beam, you don't override the extrusion like it was with the column. You do the override for each side, and that is what we have there. Then of course you have the segment join and a profile offset modifier. If you create a profiled beam, we are going to look at profiles later. Then you have an option to add a hole, and you do the settings. You have the floor plan and section, structural analytic parameters. Maybe this could be where the structural engineer comes in. And then we have the general classification and properties. You can assign a layer to your beam. So that is what we have for a beam.